Well, persistent thundershowers have wreaked havoc across the country, with 14 lives that have been lost, homes submerged, vehicles swept away, and agriculture affected by floodwaters. On Monday, government declared a national state of disaster to enable a coordinated response to the impact of floods affecting Mpumalanga, the Eastern Cape, Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, Limpopo, the Northern Cape, and Northwest provinces. But how prepared is South Africa to deal with natural disasters? Well, we are now joined via Zoom by Dr Jackson Sebola-Samanyanga Lecturer at the Department of Urban and Regional Planning at the University of Johannesburg. A very good afternoon to you, sir, and thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Now, the big question, is climate change the main driver of the flooding that we are currently experiencing? Of course, one may also consider that the country's spatial planning may also be exacerbating the damage that we are seeing.
Yes, good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your listeners. Yes, climate change is at the core, it's at the center of the issues that we are facing. And indeed, the manner in which we used to plan in the past is also a contributing factor. Things have changed. We need to change the way we plan our cities and the way we respond to disasters.
Now, very interesting, you're talking about planning, but one of the things that South Africans are seeing is that whenever there is flooding, there is so much infrastructural damage. Is South Africa well prepared for natural disasters?
No, unfortunately not. We are not well prepared. As you can see, what we do is we react to these natural disasters as when they've happened. And what is needed, we need to proactively engage with them. We need to anticipate and build cities and roads and bridges that are resilient, that will be able to withstand these issues or disasters we are facing. As we've mentioned, that this climate change matter. On the one hand, we've got droughts. On the other, we've got heat waves. Now we've got floods. I won't be surprised when we have snow later. So it's a matter of us being prepared for all these disasters and not responding to them each and every time they happen.
Now, of course, on Monday, government declared a national state of disaster so that, they can have this coordinated way of dealing with some of the damage that we are seeing in several provinces. As it stands now, 7 provinces are affected. How important do you think this is going to be in assisting government to, as they say, coordinate and make sure that they come up with better strategies to withstand some of the damage that has been affected?
Yeah, this is a good opportunity now for this declaration to build up a team that incorporates a wide spectrum of professionals, engineers, agriculturalists, because this affects all other aspects more than just infrastructure. So this is an opportunity for them to now sit on a round table and start coming up with strategies and interventions that will be able to proactively engage with these disasters before they happen. So it is a good step forward, a bit too late, but not too late when we look at future on what could happen in the future.
Now, we obviously touched a little bit on just the historic problems as it relates to spatial planning. Now, just from an urban and regional planning perspective, what are some of the countries that we can emulate and basically just take best steps from in terms of situations like this? I know that, China has also been given, one of the recommendations of a country that has been adequately able to deal with what we've been seeing in terms of flooding.
Yes, naturally, we'll need to look at countries that have undergone such disasters, and China is a good example that we can incorporate its interventions. Now, they've got an intervention which they call the sponge city. Now, this deals with floods. It deals with taking that water and channeling it using natural infrastructure or natural systems like open spaces and trees and grass to absorb these floods. But as what I'm saying, we should not just focus on floods, because now these disasters change. It becomes a heat wave, then it becomes a drought. So it needs to be an approach that is holistic and not just focusing on floods.
Where does one begin, especially when you speak of a holistic plan that is needed? And then also considering that there are so many people currently living in low-lying areas that are susceptible, to being affected by what we are currently seeing, whether it's flood or another natural disaster.
Yeah, the best place to start is where we are right now, where we declare this as a state of emergency, and we sit with all affected parties. That means it will be the housing department, the Department of Human Settlements, with all the local municipalities, the provincial sector, so that we are able to approach this in a practical way. It will not help if this conversation is held at a national level and not incorporating the local government in which deals with the people. So that's how we need to start this and move forward with it. And like I've mentioned, it's beyond just housing. It means it's agriculture, it's infrastructure, it's electricity as we have it currently. So we need to have a team that incorporates also research from the institutions such as universities, CSIR, and what you have.
All right, Doctor, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Really do appreciate it. Dr. Jackson Sebola-Samanyanga, and he's, of course, a lecturer at the Department of Urban and Regional Planning at the University of Johannesburg. Appreciate your time, sir. Thank you so much.